This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man.
Boy!
Hey, let's talk about you, the ID10T community events at ID10T.com, like Russ Stevens, a.k.a.
Catbus Russ,
who has started a podcast called 90 for Chill, which Russ says is dedicated to movies with a runtime between 74 and 99 minutes, the time frame that I feel is ideal. Russ, I could not agree with you more. That is a fantastic idea. Russ goes on to say there are times you need a cinematic fix but don't have time for the latest Scorsese masterpiece or offering from a comic book universe. There's also times when you need a conclusion to prevent a binge costing you a whole night. My guests and I try to follow these guidelines as we chat up features that are definitely worth your time and are beyond easy to make time for. 90 for Chill, the podcast, can be found on all major podcast platforms at 90forchill.com, and that's spelling out 90, Ninety, 4 FOR, chill. So there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Russ. Really great idea for a podcast. Events at ID10T.com for everyone else.
Hello there.
Hey, Catbus Russ here. I'd like to thank you for checking out 90 for Chill, the podcast, and this Rewind Wednesday dedicated to a triple feature of David Cronenberg features, American History X, Naked Lunch, and his second horror feature, Rabid, by stating that 90 for Chill, the podcast is coming to New Orleans. January 10th, we are doing a panel at Fan Expo, and I am looking for a podcast guest, of course. And I can't count on the Poetic Critic this time around. So if you're in the Gulf area, get a hold of me. My email is rustthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTHEBUS07@gmail.com. Let's come up with a format and let's go and chat about some movies. I got your badges. So you get 3 days there. I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to see you guys, all of the members of the Thrill Chill cult there. Sorry to infringe on my life with the Thrill Kill cult. Thanks for checking out 90 for Chill, the podcast, and on to the show.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
Previously on 90 for Chill, the podcast.
Boy, Morty, I really Cronenberg the world up, didn't I? You got a whole planet of Cronenbergs walking around down there, Morty. At least they're not in love with you anymore, though. It's a huge step in the right direction.
One win and run coming right up, boys.
Bye.
Hey, Mr. Stahl. Hey, Jared. Not bad. You Tom? Thanks, Tom. Good ever. Have a good evening. Just closing up, fellas. Coffee. I'm sorry, we're closed. Oh, I know that. I do know that. Shut up! You don't carry much cash here. Don't move. Do it!
They were gonna kill us. You saved our lives.
Hello, my hero.
Tom Stahl is a family man with long-standing ties to this community. Right now, this community is rallying behind him and calling him a hero.
Way to go, Tommy.
Great, more reporters.
You look like reporters.
You're the big hero.
Really don't like to talk about it, sir.
You sure took care of those two bad men, Joey.
My name is Tom. It's Joey. You tell me.
Sarah? Sarah! My daughter, where is she?
What's going on, Dad? I thought they knew me. I thought I was somebody else.
Nothing to worry about, Mrs. Stahl. I've been watching over her.
I don't know what you want, and I don't really care.
You should care about what I want, because what I want might change your life. Why don't you ask Tom? Ask him, how come he's so good at
killing people.
Tell me the truth. What are you?
So I've just concluded a rewatch of A History of Violence, David Cronenberg's 2005 classic, starring Viggo Mortensen, and it's a hell of a cast. Maria Bello, Ed Harris, William Hurt, about a man who seems all ordinary, your typical Indiana folk in an Indiana town, who just runs a diner, who saves the day from a robbery and mass murder that was going to occur there through his swift, violent, and brutal actions. This leads to mobsters from Philadelphia thinking this is the long-lost Joey Cusack instead of Tom Stahl, who everybody else knows him as. And the story might be divided in about 4 acts, really. When we get to the twist, everything gets resolved, and it's honestly probably Cronenberg's most optimistic ending in many a way. I mean, Naked Lunch, it's pretty much our protagonist is going to repeat the same cycle. Shivers, you're just going to be part of the large orgy. The Fly, sequel says all right. Things worked out all right. But this is probably Howard Shore's best score for a Cronenberg feature, in my opinion. Like, it's very foreboding and dark, but there's just always glimmers of light somewhere in the tone. There's not necessarily the violence you expect from a Cronenberg feature, at least his works prior. This is just straight up brutality, and that even goes into the sex, so that's pretty standard for Cronenberg. It's just a very straightforward narrative, not a lot of twists you can add to it. It's just subtle perfection, in all honesty. So, A History of Violence is a must-watch for any fan of Cronenberg, for any movie lover.
Your cable TV is experiencing difficulties. Please do not panic. Resist the temptation to read or talk to loved ones. Do not attempt sexual relations, as years of TV radiation have left your genitals withered and useless.
Well, I'll be damned.
Pardon the interruption, but I failed to provide my Patreon link, and that is patreon.com/IDigCrazyFlix. I Dig Crazy Flicks, all one word. You go there, you'll see an idea of what the sticker you're going to get will look like. If that's not reason enough to check it out, I don't know what else is. Thanks again for even considering the support. And if you're going to provide that support, here's your shout out. Thank you, former AAW interviewer, The Scoop Staley. I wonder what happened to that guy. And friend of the show from Evil Penguin Games, Tim Bates. Check out the episodes I've done with him on Arena and Night of the Demons.
Quick and get me.
Miss Rose, it's gotta be. Something's happened to Rose.
Health officials have said they consider the outbreak of the new strain of rabies as being potentially the worst of this century.
Don't scream. Don't panic. He's dead, and the dead can't hurt the living. Rabid.
The Prime Minister was reluctant to officially declare a state of emergency, but as any citizen in the streets can tell you, martial law has come to Montreal.
Get that gun. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Don't have a car. Down, please. Shooting down the victims is as good a way of handling them as we have got.
trust your mother. Your best friend. The neighbor next door. 1 minute, they're perfectly normal. The next, rabid. Pray it doesn't happen to you. Rabid.
So I've just concluded watching the original Rabid, David Cronenberg's zombie film, I guess you'd say, from 1977, about 2 years after Shivers, which is a classic, which I think Rabid might be an attempt to do that, kind of on steroids, with the idea that, oh, we know what the zombie outbreak is and all of this, but it's so, scenes are so pieced together that I think it just doesn't work on a whole. I don't think you're very sympathetic towards Marilyn Chambers' lead, who's the femme fatale in a sense, and there's some great action set pieces, but trying to make everybody know, oh, it's a pandemic based around vampiric rabies, it just... I think the Soska Sister remake does it better. They just hint at it during the process. They get a little more ridiculous with the ritualistic nature of how they come up with their vampiric zombie virus compared to how Cronenberg does it. Now, everything just ends up being a little bit random. Like, it could make it for a good zombie movie, classic B movie stuff. But by this point, after such a classic like Shivers, which is essentially a zombie movie, sex-crazed ones, which kind of tops having Marilyn Chambers to begin with, then it just misses the mark. It's not bad, and as I say, there's some brilliant set scenes. Like, I'd love to see a Grindhouse trailer of this, where they give you all the good stuff just to get you through the door. But yeah, I would say this is the first Cronenberg film I wouldn't recommend to anybody, which is kind of a sad discovery.
When I started writing Naked Lunch, people offered their opinions. Disgusting, they said. Pornographic, un-American trash, unpublishable. Well, it came out in 1959, and it found an audience. Town meetings, book burnings, and an inquiry by the state Supreme Court. That book made quite a little impression. Now, 30 years later, Hollywood, in its infinite wisdom, has turned it into a movie. 30 feet tall, in living color. Cover your eyes, America. Run for your lives.
You're a marked man, Bill. You're just gonna have to leave town.
Tourist class, I'm afraid.
Thought you were finished with doing weird stuff.
I thought I was too, but I guess I'm not.
Hello, it's Russ Stevens here, and I have just finished getting my Cronenberg fix for the month, perhaps, with Naked Lunch, one of his best received films from what I've gained knowledge of. Not exactly a financial success, but it's not like he's ever really broken the top 10 anywhere. Probably the biggest money comes from The Dead Zone, his Stephen King adaptation, an excellent one at that. So this film is about William Lee, basically a facsimile of William S. Burroughs, the author of the book. So it's not a direct adaptation. It tells the tale of how William Lee falls into addiction, and which leads to him accidentally killing his wife, which leads to him being involved with a bug-like culture suggesting they are working for the American government and planting him in an Arabic nation just known as the Interzone to figure out what the source of all this evil is. It definitely, I think, bears a rewatch just because it's so out there that I think you need it for the context. But it's beautiful. It might be Cronenberg's best directed feature. Peter Weller's, I mean, the actors are all solid. Ian Holm, you can understand why he returned for Existence. That's capital X, capital Z. I mean, just the sets, the mise-en-scene, it really just... It's like Cronenberg is kind of directing an adaptation of a play. There's so many thick levels to this. This is definitely worth adding to your collection just to try and figure it out. My experience with Naked Lunch prior to this is the novel. Not that I read it, just an association with a lot of junkies back in my mid-20s. But it's an important work, I think, for everyone, and this film proves that.
Can I hear a wahoo?
Hey, Catbus Russ here. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. Hopefully you will forgive the poor audio. What can I say? Those reviews were recorded on my phone back in 2021. We're talking spring and summer, hence fans, AC, iPhone picks up everything. So good critique for the iPhone 11's microphone, bad podcasting. But if you want to make a great podcast, get a hold of me. You can follow me on my social medias. That's Blue Sky primarily, Instagram and Threads, all at CatBusRuss, or send an email once again to russthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTAGBUS07@gmail.com. Come on the show. Offer me a film, a director, an actor, a theme. Just try to focus on movies between 70 to 100 minutes, but I can make anything work, and there's going to be a change to calling the podcast I Dig Crazy Flicks Presents. So we might open it up to more conversations with less work. No promises there. But aside from that, I'd like to thank Stacia Marie Harden for keeping an eye on me. She's been really good to me this month. Great experience at Twin Cities Con. And, it shows, hey, people can believe in me, I suppose. Outside of her, and I just hope she's doing the same for everybody she touched in her life, and I hope she's just wearing the ectoplasm out of Skimbleshanks, the one-eared angel. I mean, she deserves one of the, if not the fluffiest of fluffy cats. So, hope he is keeping you good company, Stacia. Thanks for checking out 90 for Chill, the podcast.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.